Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Jayo Radha Krishna Chandra Radhe Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Krishna Balaram Jayo Nitai Gaurango Jayo Nitai Gaurango Jayo Prahlāda Narsimha Jayo Sudarshana Jayo Prabhupada Jai Vishnupad Paramhans Parivrajakacarya Ashtottarashat Shri Śrīmad His Divine Grace Abhay Charanarvind Bhakti Vedant Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Jai Om Vishnupad Paramhans Nitya Leela Pravishta His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrind Ki Jai नामाचार्य शील हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरी गोवर्धन की जय मथुरा वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी क्षेत्र की जय गंगा माई यमुना माई की जय वृंद देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण चंद्र की जय श्री श्री कृष्ण बलराम की जय श्री श्री निताय गौरांग की जय श्री श्री प्रहलाद नरसिंह देव की जय श्री श्री सुदर्शन भगवान की जय हरि नाम संकीर्तन यज्ञ की जय समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, 1st Canto, 10th Chapter, text number 33. atha duragatan shaurihi atha duragatan shaurihi kauravan virahaturan kauravan virahaturan sannivartya dridham snigdhan sannivartya dridham snigdhan prayat svanagarim priyaihi praya svanagarim priyaihi atha duragatan shauri kauravan virahaturan sannivartya dridham snigdhan praya svanagarim priyaihi atha duragatan shauri kauravan virahaturan sannivartya dridham snigdhan praya svanagarim priyaihi atha duragatan shauri kauravan virahaturan sannivartya dridham snigdhan praya svanagarim priyaihi atha duragatan shauri kauravan virahaturan sannivartya dridham snigdhan praya svanagarim priyaihi atha duragatan shauri kauravan virahaturan sannivartya dridham snigdhan praya svanagarim priyaihi atha 10 duragatan having accompanied him for a long distance shaurihi Lord Krishna kauravan the Pandavas virahaturan overwhelmed by a sense of separation sannivartya politely persuaded dridham determined snigdhan full of affection prayat proceeded svanagarim towards his own city Dwarka priyaihi with dear companions. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, who were of the Kuru dynasty, accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwarka with his dear companions. Please repeat. Out of profound affection for Lord Krishna, the Pandavas, who were of the Kuru dynasty, accompanied him a considerable distance to see him off. They were overwhelmed with the thought of future separation. The Lord, however, persuaded them to return home, and he proceeded towards Dwarka with his dear companions. Next, I will read by myself. Kuru Jangal Panchalan Shurasenan Sayamunan Brahmavartam Kurukshetram Matsyan Sarasvatanatha Marudhanvam Athikramya Sauvira Paran Anartan Bhargavopagat Trantavaho Manag Vibhu. O Shaunak, the Lord then proceeded towards Kurujangala, Panchala, Shurasena, the land on the bank of the river Yamuna, Brahmavart, Kurukshetra, Matsya, Sarasvata, the province of the desert and the land of scanty water. After crossing these provinces, he gradually reached the Sauvira and Abhira provinces. Then, west of these, reached Dwarka at last. Purport. The provinces passed over by the Lord in those days were differently named, but the direction given is sufficient to indicate that he travelled through Delhi, Punjab, Rajasthan, Madhya Pradesh, Saurashtra, and Gujarat, and at last reached his home province at Dwarka. We do not gain any profit simply by researching the analogous provinces of those days up to now. But it appears that the desert of Rajasthan and the provinces of scanty water, like Madhya Pradesh, were present even 5,000 years ago. The theory of soil experts that the desert developed in recent years is not supported by the statements of the Bhagavatam. We may leave the matter for expert geologists to research because the changing universe has different phases of geological development. We are satisfied that the Lord has now reached his own province, Dwarka Dham, from the Kuru provinces. Kurukshetra continues to exist since the Vedic age, and it is sheer foolishness when interpreters ignore or deny the existence of Kurukshetra. So let us see the last verse of this chapter also, text number 36. Tatra tatra ha tatratyay harif pratyudyatarhanaha sayam bheje disham paschat gavishto gamgatastada. On his journey through these provinces, he was welcomed, worshipped, and given various presentations. In the evening, in all places, the Lord suspended his journey to perform evening rites. This was regularly observed after sunset. Purport. It is said here that the Lord observed the religious principles regularly while he was on the journey. There are certain philosophical speculations that even the Lord is under the obligations of fruitive action. But actually this is not the case. He does not depend on the action of any good or bad work. Since the Lord is absolute, everything done by him is good for everyone. But when he descends on earth, he acts for the protection of the devotees and for the annihilation of the impious non-devotees. Although he has no obligatory duty, still he does everything so that others may follow. That is the way of factual teaching. One must act properly himself and teach the same to others. Otherwise, no one will accept one's blind teaching. He is himself the awarder of fruitive results. He is self-sufficient, and yet he acts according to the rulings of the revealed scripture in order to teach us the process. If he does not do so, the common man may go wrong. But in the advanced stage, when one can understand the transcendental nature of the Lord, one does not try to imitate him. This is not possible. The Lord in human society does what is the duty of everyone, but sometimes he does something extraordinary and not to be imitated by the living being. His acts of evening prayer, as stated herein, must be followed by the living being. But it is not possible to follow his mountain lifting or dancing with the gopis. One cannot imitate the sun, which can exhaust water even from a filthy place. The most powerful can do something which is all good, but our imitation of such acts will put us into endless difficulty. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress will be assured. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purports of first canto, 10th chapter of the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, entitled Departure of Lord Krishna for Dwarka. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmaya Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. The Pandavas were feeling very distressed because of seeing future separation from Lord Krishna. Thus, they accompanied Lord Krishna for a long distance. But then Lord Krishna, with pleasing words, he told them to go back. And along with his dear devotees, Lord Krishna traveled towards Dwarka. And then he's crossing through all these provinces. He's crossing through the land of desert, Rajasthan, land of scanty water, Madhya Pradesh, and Gujarat, Punjab, Kurukshetra, all these places are covered. The towns on the bank of Yamuna, and finally he reaches Dwarka. And then Prabhupada explains very nicely in the last verse. While Lord Krishna was traveling, Lord Krishna was very much particular about the evening rituals. Lord Krishna, wherever he was, when it is evening time, he would perform his evening rituals. So thus, one may think Lord Krishna is also under laws of nature. He is also doing some rituals. All these rituals are meant for people who are under control of laws of nature. We are supposed to do Gayatri in the evening, in all the 3 sandhyas, and chant and hear about the Supreme Lord Krishna. So Lord Krishna is also doing this activity. We are doing this activity to keep ourselves pure, to get freedom from the results of sinful actions that we have done so far. And so many other activities are recommended for a general person also, even who has got no interest in spiritual life. Even a person who has got interest just in enjoying material life, he is supposed to do the religious duties. So does it mean so somebody can tell, just see, Lord Krishna is also not supreme? Because he is also, just like Narad Muni, when he saw Brahma's powers, Narad Muni thought Lord Brahma is Supreme Lord himself. But then he saw Brahma also was meditating. He was also doing austerities. And then he concluded, then you cannot be supreme. Because you are doing meditation. You are working hard to get powers, to get guidance. And then using the same understanding, somebody can tell, see, Lord Krishna is also doing, he is also not supreme. Lord Krishna is also meditating in the evening, so he is also not supreme. He is also under control of laws of nature. So that is why Prabhupada explains it is very, very important to understand what is the last line of the purport. Therefore, in all actions, the experienced guide, the spiritual master, who is the manifested mercy of the Lord, should always be consulted, and the path of progress will be assured. In all actions, the experienced guide, spiritual master, should always be consulted. So consulting spiritual master is important. When Lord Krishna comes here, he also acts like an ordinary human being. Why? Because Krishna tells, yes, a liberated person, for him there is no reason to work. And there is no reason not to work, Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita. Still, yad yad acharati shreshthas tat tat evetaro janaha. As we saw in the recent Vrindavan Jaipur Yatra, how in Jaipur there are so many people who are worshipping Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, the 6 Goswamis. Why they are worshipping? Because the kings worshipped. Because the kings were devotees of the Goswamis. Gaur Nitai, we have temple of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, many temples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Jaipur, which are rare to be found elsewhere. But why it happened? Because the leaders, the kings, became devotees. So thus common people followed their example. So Lord Krishna, that is why he told Arjuna that for a liberated person there is no reason to act and there is no reason not to act. So will a liberated person act or not? He will act just to set the right example. If people give up their prescribed duties, then it will create disturbance in the society. And thus the liberated personalities also act. And then Lord Krishna gives the example of Janak. King Janak, father of Mother Sita, he was also liberated personality. He is one of the 12 greatest personalities who are given the responsibility of preaching the message of Krishna consciousness. So he is among 12 Mahajanas, greatest personalities. But he behaved like a materialist, like an ordinary king, just to set the right example for others. So this is very important that we have to understand Lord Krishna acted in this manner just to set the example for others, that everyone can follow him. But there are certain activities in which Lord Krishna should not be followed, because Lord Krishna has multiple purposes for his appearance here. One purpose is to set the right way of conduct for all the living entities. Another purpose is to establish his supremacy, that I am the Supreme Lord. And thus he performed uncommon activities like lifting of the Govardhan mountain or dancing with the gopis. And many people, they justify their affairs. See, Krishna also had an affair. So Krishna is practical person. We also have to be practical. So we are following our Supreme Lord. He danced, so we are also dancing. So selectively you should not follow, as we have seen. Then you lift mountain, you dance on the hoods of Kali also. So like this you follow nicely if you want to follow. So selectively you should not imitate. So that is why Prabhupada is writing, it is extremely important that we understand the activities of Lord Krishna, understand the scriptures. With the help of spiritual master, he should be consulted at every stage. Thus there is a very nice shloka in Bhagavatam. Here it is mentioned, this is from 7th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. Yatha vairānubandhena martyastan mayatam iyat na tatha bhakti yogena iti me nischita matihi. There are different processes of yoga. There is karma yoga, there is jnana yoga, there is dhyana yoga, there is bhakti yoga. Which is topmost? Is there anything better than bhakti yoga? Here it is told, this is better than bhakti yoga. There is something which is even higher than bhakti yoga. Na tatha bhakti yogena. This position is not attainable even by bhakti yoga. Which position is not attainable by bhakti yoga? How do we attain that? Yatha vairānubandhena. What is vaira? Vaira means enmity. Narad Muni is explaining this verse. Narad Muni continued, by devotional service one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity toward him. That is my opinion. Iti me nischita matihi. What is opinion of Narad Muni? He is telling, iti me nischita matihi. This is my mati, my opinion. And his opinion is best. He is Mahajan. He is the incarnation of devotional service. He is the spiritual master of all the stalwart devotees in this universe. Nobody can know Bhakti Yoga better than him. And he is telling, By devotional service, one cannot achieve such intense absorption in thought of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as one can through enmity toward Him. That is my opinion. So that is why the best process is to become enemy of Krishna. Narad Muni has concluded, that is my opinion. Such intense absorption is not possible by bhakti, na tatha bhakti yogena. By bhakti yoga, one cannot be so nicely absorbed. So how to understand this? Then why acharyas have not taught us become enemy? Why we are being given an inferior process? Why topmost process has not been given? We are not qualified to become enemy. How to understand? Sorry? No, Krishna gives us freedom. Krishna does not decide. He does not play with our free will, generally. He gives us freedom. He tells this is best process, and then yathechasi tatha kuru. Vimrishyetad asheshana. Whatever I have told you, Arjuna, you contemplate upon it. And then whatever you desire, you do. So Krishna explains what is good, what is not good, and then gives us freedom to take the best process. Yes, so bhakti is anukulena Krishna anushilanam. That is bhakti, but this is better than bhakti, pratikul. Tremendous absorption, intense absorption is only found in enemies of Krishna. And such position cannot be attained by bhakti yoga. Yes, yes, yes. Yes. No, the ultimate aim of life is to get absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. No, that is bhakti. The definition of bhakti is favorable absorption. But favorable absorption also does not elevate you to that position. So that is why it is very, very important. We cannot understand the meaning of this verse by our speculation. So thus Prabhupada explains very nicely. Sriman Narad Muni, the topmost pure devotee, praises Krishna's enemies like Shishupal because their minds are always completely absorbed in Krishna. Indeed, he thinks himself deficient in the inspiration of being feelingly absorbed in Krishna consciousness. This does not mean, however, that the enemies of Krishna are more elevated than Krishna's pure devotees. In the Chaitanya Charitamrita, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami also thinks of himself in such a humble way. Jagai madai haite mui se papishta, puri shera keet haite mui se lagishta. I am worse sinner than Jagai and Madhai, and I am even lower than worms in the stool. A pure devotee always thinks himself more deficient than everyone else. If a devotee approaches Srimati Radharani to offer some service to Krishna, even Srimati Radharani thinks that the devotee is greater than she. Thus Narad Muni says that according to his opinion, the enemies of Krishna are better situated because they are fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna in terms of killing him, just as a very lusty man always thinks of women and their association. The essential point in this connection is that one should be fully absorbed in thoughts of Krishna 24 hours a day. There are many devotees in Rag Marg, which is exhibited in Vrindavan, whether in Dasyaras, Sakhyaras, Vatsalyaras or Madhuryaras. All the devotees of Krishna are always overwhelmed by thoughts of Krishna. When Krishna is away from Vrindavan tending the cows in the forest, the gopis in the Madhuryaras are always absorbed in thoughts of how Krishna walks in the forest. The soles of his feet are so soft that the gopis would not dare to keep his lotus feet on their soft breasts. Indeed, they consider their breasts a very hard place for the lotus feet of Krishna. Yet those lotus feet wander in the forest, which is full of thorny plants. The gopis are absorbed in such thoughts at home, although Krishna is away from them. Similarly, when Krishna plays with his young friends, Mother Yashoda is very much disturbed by thoughts that Krishna, because of always playing and not taking his food properly, must be getting weak. These are examples of the exalted ecstasy felt in Krishna's service as manifested in Vrindavan. This service is indirectly praised by Narad Muni in this verse. Especially for the conditioned soul, Narad Muni recommends that one somehow or other be absorbed in thoughts of Krishna, for that will save one from all the dangers of material existence. Full absorption in thought of Krishna is the highest platform of Bhakti Yoga. So thus the understanding is, Narad Muni is expressing this verse in his humility. He is so humble, just like Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, when he says, Jagai Madhai Haite Mui Se Papishta. I am a greater sinner than Jagai Madhai. And not just Jagai Madhai. Puri Shira Keet Haite Mui Se Lagishta. I am lower than the worm in the stool. Is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami lower than worm in the stool? No. Although he is writing this, he is asserting, I am lower than worm in the stool. One who thinks of my name loses all his piety. But he is a pure devotee of Krishna. He has given us Chaitanya Charitamrita. He is most exalted of the pure devotees. So that is why it is very important to understand the intention behind the verse. When Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, you kill Ashwathama, it is not Krishna's intention that Ashwathama should be killed, but Krishna is testing Arjuna. Whether he will kill or not, he will pardon. So thus Krishna is telling, kill him, kill him. Bhima is also telling, Krishna is also telling, kill him. Draupadi, Yudhishthir, Maharaj tell, don't kill. So Krishna tests Arjuna. That is how Shukdev Goswami, when he tells the process of atonement to Parikshit Maharaj, he is testing the intelligence of his disciple, that he should actually reject the process of atonement and reject the process of Jnana Yoga. So in this way, when the verses are spoken, when Krishna tells, do not speak Bhagavad Gita to the people who are not having credits of austerity or devotional service. But Prabhupada tells the devotee of Krishna is more compassionate than Krishna, and he takes all the risk to preach. So why Krishna is telling don't touch? Because they will disturb the devotee. Krishna does not want his devotees to be disturbed. But devotee is more compassionate and takes the risk of even preaching non-devotees. So that is why it is very, very important to take shelter of spiritual master, to understand what is heart of Krishna. Krishna in his heart wants everyone to come back. Preaching should happen to everyone. But he does not want his devotees to get disturbed. But devotee understanding Krishna's heart, he violates Krishna's instruction. This is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Nityanand Prabhu, now you do not come every year to Jagannath Puri because preaching gets disturbed. You preach in Bengal. I have given you important responsibility. Now you don't come every year because people would come there, stay for many months of the rainy season. So do not come here. But Nityanand Prabhu, still he would come to Jagannath Puri. So thus it is told in Chaitanya Charitamrita, when somebody follows Lord Krishna's instructions meticulously, Lord Krishna becomes very much pleased. And when one violates such instructions out of spontaneous love, Lord Krishna becomes even more pleased. So when you disobey Krishna's instructions out of spontaneous love, then Krishna gets even greater pleasure. So that is why it is very, very important to take guidance of a bona fide spiritual master to understand this subject matter. Otherwise one will get confused. Similarly, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji, what did he tell? That you drag my body with ropes across the land of Mayapur so that I may get purified. And some foolish people actually wanted to drag his body across Mayapur. And then Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told, are you foolish? He has told this in humility. His body is so pure, Lord Gaur Sundar will be pleased to touch his body. Just like Lord Chaitanya danced with the body of Haridas Thakur. So thus the pure devotee's body is also completely transcendental. And Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj told, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Gaur Sundar will be pleased to touch his body, to take his body on his lap. Just like he became pleased by taking the body of Haridas Thakur, which was apparently dead. So when he is telling that drag my body across the dust so that I can get purified, it means he is saying these things in humility. Pure devotee does not think that he is advanced. So that this is also a verse which is spoken in humility. Narad Muni is telling that I cannot absorb so much that they are able to absorb such absorption. But Prabhupada explains very nicely in Vrindavan, they are so much absorbed. Morning to evening, the gopis, other devotees, Mother Yashoda, they are just absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. There is no comparison with the absorption of the Vrijavasis. So indirectly, it is a praise for such devotees who are able to absorb. So for neophytes also, it is an instruction that somehow or other one should be able to absorb one's mind in Krishna. Absorption, intense absorption in thoughts of Krishna is the perfection of life. So just see, unless we take shelter of a spiritual master, if we read this verse, we may get confused and one may even start practicing animosity towards Krishna. See, Bhagavatam, Narad Muni has concluded that this platform cannot be attained even by Bhakti Yoga. And like this, many other verses are there that somehow or other become absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna, either by lust or by anger or by in some other way, become absorbed in the thoughts of Krishna. So that is why it is very important to take shelter of spiritual master. Adav Guru Vashrayam, unless we have taken shelter of spiritual master, there is no question of. So one should consult spiritual master at every step of life. And how can we consult spiritual master? Yes. How can we consult spiritual master? How Prabhupada consulted his spiritual master? Yes, so this is very, very important. So one should consult spiritual master, but one should understand how spiritual master should be consulted. If I go and ask a question to spiritual master, but I have not rendered any service, such question is useless because we will not be able to understand even a spiritual master tells us the answer. So that is why it is extremely important to understand that without service, the inquiries are of no use. That is why the first question when we approach spiritual master or any devotee should be, how can I serve you? And then render service and then inquire about spiritual life. So this is the method Prabhupada explained, and this is the only question which I asked my spiritual master. This very, very important point. And then there is all revelation. And without service, there is Sevan Mukhe Jivvadau Swayame Spuratyadaha. Lord Krishna reveals himself in proportion to the devotional service rendered. And Lord Krishna will not manifest himself without service. Even if we read books, even if we do whatever, without service. So thus Prabhupada explains very nicely. So this is Vaishnava. In one's own capacity, he should give the best service to the Lord. That is bhakti. Bhakti is not laziness. If somebody thinks that the bhaktas are lazy fellows and they are out of the worldly activity, that is mistake. It is mistake. Anukulyena Krishnanushilanam. Krishna says personally, Yat karoshi, yat juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi, yat kurushva, mad arpanam. Come on, do it for me. That is bhakti. He does not say that you become a lazy fellow, give up your occupational duty and sleep and snore and become a great devotee. No, he never says. He says that you are attached to this kind of work, all right, do it. But the result you give me. That is bhakti. Arjuna, you are a military man, all right. I ask you to fight. You become a fighter and become my devotee. Bhaktosi priyosi me, just see. What is that? He was not chanting Hare Krishna. But Krishna says, Bhaktosi priyosi me. You are very dear friend and my devotee. Did he go on the battlefield of Kurukshetra? So, not that imitation, of course. ultimate is always be absorbed in glorifying the Lord, but not in the beginning. In the beginning, you must work very hard. You come to the stage of pure devotional platform, then you can fully engage yourself, meditation or chanting. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, you should be very expert and active. That is wanted. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. Udilo, from the early morning, active, come on, chant. Come with me so that others will see. If you make a party chanting Hare Krishna, so in the beginning, they may be disturbed because they have been accustomed to sleep up to 9 o'clock. But as they will hear, gradually they will become purified, they will receive it. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. So what does Prabhupada explain here? Bhakti is not laziness. So usually when we discuss that we should not work very hard because destiny is anyway fixed, then if understanding is not proper, people conclude, many times devotees tell that yes, I will take leave from my occupation and I will settle in Vrindavan and I will serve Krishna. But this is not the right understanding. That is to be followed, if at all one wants to follow, at a very advanced stage, not in the beginning. Thus Prabhupada tells Arjuna was not chanting Hare Krishna. Still Krishna told Bhakto, see, you are my devotee. So devotee does not necessarily mean that one should chant. But then Prabhupada explains, although one should not imitate Arjuna, I will not chant, I will just fight for Krishna. We have to follow the footsteps of the spiritual master. The spiritual master has given some minimum rounds to be chanted, some regulations to be followed, morning program, evening program should be done, that should be done. But then balanced time in the beginning should be spent for working very hard for Krishna. So thus hard working is very good. That is our ambition, to work 24 hours. Goswamis were working very hard, Prabhupada tells. They did not retire to become lazy. Let me become lazy and settle down comfortably in Vrindavan. No, they retired to work very hard for Krishna. And Prabhupada also retired to work very hard for Krishna. So thus hard work is very important. Hard work is not recommended for material sense enjoyment, but hard work is very much required, Prabhupada tells. Keep your health in the good condition, in the best condition, and work very hard for Krishna. That is our motto of life. So thus this is very, very important, Prabhupada tells. So one should not think that, okay, let me leave my job. Krishna did not tell Arjuna, you leave your job. He told, you are a Kshatriya, you have got inclination as a warrior, then you fight, but you fight for me. You offer the results to me. Otherwise, leaving our job also means, just like students, they tell, when they are not able to study, they tell, Prabhu, I want to join temple, I want to become brahmachari. Actually, they don't want to become brahmachari. Thus, actually, when some devotees became brahmachari, somehow they were not properly oriented. So we got the feedback. They were very much disturbed. So in Bangalore, in Bhakta training, there is rigorous training. We have to do a lot of manual labor. We have to do sweeping, mopping, doing the dishes, morning to evening. So many vessels we have not seen in our entire life, and we have to clean that in a single day. One senior devotee who is a temple president now, he is telling that how he would clean the vessels, because he have to cook food for 100 devotees. And he told, how I will clean the vessel? I will sit inside the vessel and clean. The vessel was so big. I will sit inside and clean. Vessels are so heavy, many devotees get back pain if they don't lift properly. So rigorous service is there, rigorous manual labor is there. And some of the devotees got disturbed. They were telling, we should have told earlier, no? We have to do... We thought we are supposed to give class and do Mangala Aarti. At least we should be informed that this is what we are supposed to do. They became very much disturbed. And the service earlier was so rigorous, nobody was able to clean for entire week. 5th day or 6th day, devotees would fall inevitably sick by cleaning. It was so difficult. Thus they introduced a different system. They would not take to ashram directly. because so much service devotees are not able to do. So they will make us do all these services outside first. So entire day of service. Service starts 9:15 till night 7:30. Then also there is no relief. Immediately you have to go for Bhagavad Gita class. Then you attend Shayan Aarti. And then you take rest. And morning time your dormitory will be locked. 5 hours you have to be in temple for your sadhana. You cannot come and take rest. And then afternoon there is a time for 90 minutes. In that you have to wash your clothes, you have to take rest, and you have to finish Bhagavad Gita also if you have not finished. So rigorous this thing. So this is very much required. So working very hard for Krishna. So devotional life is not laziness that I give up my work. So they think that study is tough, so let me become brahmachari. But they do not know if they become brahmachari, what would be life? There could be much more trouble. So that is why it is not recommended that you leave your work. That is sense gratification. In work, I am not able to satisfy my senses. That is troublesome. So I think leaving the work, I'll have comfortable life and I'll gratify my senses by that comfort. No. One has to work, one has to bear the discomfort and offer the results to Krishna. That is required. You study very nicely, take the pain of studying something in which you have no interest, and then use that position for spreading Krishna consciousness. Similarly, you are in a job, there is a lot of pressure, do not leave job. So we never recommend leaving job, but do your job, especially you are in good position, and we need lot of money to make temples, to publish books, to distribute prasadam, to have so many things, so many online, offline forums, so many festivals. So how the money comes? Because all the devotees who are working. So it is very much important. It is not recommended to leave the job. Rather, Prabhupada sent back his disciples when Prabhupada discovered that they are from good business houses. Prabhupada sent back, you go to your father and continue your business. Understand what is Krishna consciousness. By Krishna's mercy, you are in good position. Okay, you have no job, nothing, then you can come. You serve like this. But otherwise, if you are in a good position outside, use your position. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not tell Prahlāda Mahārāja, you become sannyasi. No, he was a king. And he continued ruling as a king. He made others also devotee. So like this, hard work is required. Either we can work hard for Krishna, or wherever we are working hard, the result of that hard work should be offered to Krishna. Yat karoshi yat joshi tat kurushu madarpanam. Arurukshor muner yogam karma karanam uchyate. In yoga, there are two stages, Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita. Yoga Ruda and Aruruksha. Yoga Ruda means advanced stage of yoga practice. And Aruruksha means initial stage of yoga practice. In the initial stage of yoga practice, karma karanam uchyate. One has to work. One has to work hard. It appears like a fruitive activity, just like a materialist is working, but no. In the initial stages, yat karoshi, yat juhoshi, one has to work very hard in the service of Krishna. What is that? He was not chanting Hare Krishna, but Krishna says, Bhaktosi Priyosi me, you are very dear to friend and my devotee. In the beginning, of course, ultimate is always be absorbed in glorifying the Lord. That is ultimate. The 24 hours we are absorbed, like Shukdev Goswami, Parikshit Maharaj, Haridas Thakur, that is ultimate. We reach a platform where we can absorb ourselves 24 hours simply in glorifying the Lord. But this position cannot be attained artificially by glorifying. Everyone knows Harinam Sankirtan is the process. Prabhupada would have told, sit here and chant 24 hours. Prabhupada was knowing that is not possible for us. We will think of opposite gender and money. Or we will sleep. That is not possible. So thus regulated chanting, and then one should understand one's initial position and work. In the beginning, you must work very hard. You must come to the stage of pure devotional platform. Then you can fully engage yourself, meditation or chanting. When we come to pure devotional platform, then we can fully engage ourselves in meditation or chanting. Not in the beginning. In the beginning, you should be very expert and active, Prabhupada explains. You must be active. That is wanted. That is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Udilo from early in the morning. That is why in the recent Vrindavan trip, we were discussing about surrender. That how we simply have to surrender. Unless we surrender, we cannot solve any problem of life. Problem of life is only because of our sinful actions. And without surrender, we cannot change our destiny or anybody's destiny. So somebody asked, which Vaishnava song should I sing to come to platform of surrender? So in India, people take things very easily. So that is called Sahjiya. Let me sing a song for Krishna. Let me sit in front of Krishna and just see Krishna and cry. So this crying is taken something. Of course, crying is very good, but crying is on various platforms. So we can feel emotions for Krishna which are on material platform. Just like people feel emotions for Shah Rukh Khan who is dying in the movie. We feel emotions? Yes. We feel emotional. So those are simply emotional sentiments. They are not spiritual sentiments. Similarly, we can train ourselves. Prabhupada tells Sahjiyas, they train themselves. As soon as they sing, they will cry. So recently one devotee has joined ashram. He tells, yes, Prabhu. In our area, everyone reads Chaitanya Charitamrit. No Bhagavad Gita Bhagavatam. They think they are very advanced. So they directly read Chaitanya Charitamrita. And they will cry like anything and roll and do all these things. But then as soon as Katha is over, they will drink tea. And, and other sinful activities, material activities. So this is called Sahjiya. They are crying, they are artificially, they are psyched up in their mind, these symptoms of ecstasy. So just like you cry after watching a movie, sentiments, emotions, similarly. But it is good, still it is good. Even this is better than impersonalist, Prabhupada explains, because they are, even though artificially they are trying to imitate devotees. So in future they'll become devotees. But the best thing is right now become devotee by following meticulously a bona fide spiritual master. In future they'll come to this point. So one should not. So when there was a devotee in Vrindavan, he was always glorifying Prabhupada with prayers. There are various prayers in the glorification of devotees. You are like the captain. You will take our ship across the ocean of nescience. By will of providence, we have met you. So like this, devotee was offering prayers. So Prabhupada immediately pointed towards a puddle. Water was collected in the temple. He told, is it by will of providence that this water is collected here? Why you are not cleaning properly? So thus Prabhupada told, do something practical. So Prabhupada always told, do something practical. Krishna wants to see how much you are sacrificing for him. Krishna wants to see how much discomfort you are taking for him. Prabhupada tells, doing tapasya is the only business of one who is twice born. One who is a Dvija, who is initiated by spiritual master, he should take initiation only if he wants to make tapasya as the aim of life. Otherwise one should not take. If one wants to have a comfortable life, do not take. So tapasya is the purpose. Tapo divyam putraka, and under the guidance of spiritual master, one should be willing to undergo tapasya. Then one should take initiation, one should take second birth. First birth is for sense gratification in ignorance. Second birth is for enlightenment. For this tapasya is required. So Prabhupada told, and what is best tapasya? That Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, preaching. Nobody is dearer to me than the one who preaches my glories. So taking hardships for preaching, that is the best tapasya. But tapasya is the only aim. There is no other business of one who is twice born but tapasya. So thus Prabhupada always told, do something practical. Otherwise it becomes one of the 6 elements which impede our devotional service or which destroy devotional service. That is called niyamagraha, following the rules and regulations without seeing the result. I am going school daily but I am not clearing the exam. Then what is the use? There is some mistake which we are doing. So thus I should not become niyamagrahi, simply following the rules without seeing the result. So I should always see practical. Prabhupada told the disciples, they were always traveling from one town to another. So Prabhupada told, what is the use? You are not making any devotees. We are meant to travel across the world so that we can create devotees. So stay at a place unless somebody becomes sincere enough. Don't move. Then you move to another place. Otherwise, rolling stone gathers no mass. I'm in this town today, next town tomorrow, but what is the result? Nobody has become devotee. I sat in one place in New York. Thus, you see this immense movement has developed. It has come about. So one should see from the results. So thus, practical activity, Prabhupada stressed. You have got practical energy by Krishna. You have got practical intelligence. Use it to spread the Krishna consciousness movement. Work very hard. Spend our energy, whatever Krishna has given. Spend our resources, money, practically for Krishna. Prabhupada tells rich men, many rich men, they come to Vrindavan. How do they come? They give all money to their children, and then they come to Vrindavan, they tell, keep sending me 50 rupees or 500 rupees every month. So Prabhupada tells, Krishna is also 50 rupees for you. Saying my money children should enjoy. Anyway, I have become old, my senses are not working, I cannot enjoy. Let my children enjoy. Then Krishna is also intelligent. He wants to see how much you are sacrificing. Practical activity. So that is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. He practically did it and he asked everyone to do it. Amar Agyaya Guru Haya Tara Eidesh. This is my order. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also expects practical activity. What is practical activity? You become Guru. Each and every person on the planet, especially Indian, should become Guru. So everyone should become Guru. Everyone must have disciples. I am Guru, but I have no disciples. So what kind of Guru we are? I am a king without subjects. So then you are not king. So Guru means everyone, all of us must have disciples. What kind of disciples? Siksha disciples to whom we are preaching Krishna consciousness. Does not mean Diksha. For this also injunction is there. Do not initiate many people. Mahaprabhu has told, Prabhupada also has told. So Guru means Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Updesh. Whomever you find, whether person is rich, person is poor, person is living in this part of city, that part of city, male, female, young or old, tell them about Krishna consciousness. Yare dekho tare kaho. Whoever you find, you educate them about Krishna. So one should become Guru means one must have disciples. One should see how many people I have turned them towards Krishna consciousness. Amar Agyaya Guru Haya Tara Idesh. This is my order. He could remain a big devotee at his home. Who could remain? Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He could remain a big devotee at his home. He was very popular in Navadvip. Even when he was 20 years old, he was able to defeat Keshav Kashmiri, the biggest scholar of the country. So he was very famous even at that time. But still, he took sannyas and went door to door, village to village, town to town in India, and he left his order. Prithvi te ache yat nagaradi gram. All over the world, as many towns and villages are there, this Krishna consciousness movement should be spread. Not that we are big Goswamis and Babajis. We do not go out of Vrindavan. They say that we do not go out of Vrindavan. Many you will find devotees. They say we don't go out of Vrindavan. You are imitating them, chuckles. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that Prithvi te ache yatanagradi gram, and they have become very big Vaishnava. No, I don't go beyond the limits of Vrindavan. What is this nonsense? Did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu say like that? That you do not go beyond the limits? A devotee, wherever he is, that is Vrindavan. That is Vrindavan Tirtha. Kurvanti Tirthani, a devotee, a pure devotee can make any hell a Tirtha, a holy place. That is a devotee. So Prabhupada tells very important instruction. From where have you learned this? This is nonsense. That I will never go beyond Vrindavan. Prabhupada has used the word nonsense. Did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tell, do not go out of Vrindavan? Mahaprabhu himself went out of Vrindavan. Rather, he never stayed in Vrindavan. He just went to Vrindavan once. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would have shown by his example. What was the example of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? He went town to town, village to village, door to door. Just Chaitanya Mahaprabhu set example by his own life. He was famous scholar, he could have stayed in his own place, but he took discomfort, he took sannyas, traveled door to door. So thus Prabhupada tells, so it is not a good thing. So we have to understand, if we have any plans of getting settled comfortably, some devotees make plans, let me live comfortably in Dham, then we are sorry, we have not understood Chaitanya Mahaprabhu or Bhaktisiddhanta Maharaj or Srila Prabhupada or Gaudiya Vaishnavism. That is good, that is appreciable, it is told Dham Vas. But what is Dham? Wherever devotee is, that place is Dham. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has told, you should become so nice devotee, such a nice preacher. Wherever you go, that place should become Vrindavan. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mission. Incarnation for this age, for Kali Yuga. He knows how we can advance. We cannot advance simply by sitting in one place. Yes, very advanced devotees, you go and live in Vrindavan. But in the initial stages, if we go, it will simply be an imitation. It is actually nonsense. So we should not give up our activity. We should engage in our activity, take the pains which the activity is giving, and offer the results to Krishna. That is what is recommended. Work very hard for Krishna. Do something practical for Krishna. So practically, this is very important. Thus, many devotees were sharing. Many devotees, they tell, Prabhu, I am not getting taste in chanting. I have heard entire Soulful Japa module. I have made notes. I am doing this thing, trying to enter into every bead, every name. But this is not the process. Yes, that will work if you work very hard for Krishna. For Prabhupada, Shushusho Shaddadhanasya Vasudev Katha Ruchi. Ruchi in hearing about Krishna develops when one becomes inclined to render devotional service. Syat Mahat Sevaya Vipra. When one does Mahat Seva, one engages in service of pure devotees. So when we work very hard for pure devotees, then automatically we'll get taste even without applying much attention to the holy name. Holy name will give pleasure. So thus many devotees who were chanting 64 rounds were not getting pleasure, neither were getting sufficient realization by reading the books or hearing the lectures. But when they joined temple, they worked very hard. Morning to evening, they are so tired, body is getting broken. And then they realized how holy name is so nectarian. Then the same devotees told, Prabhu, I am waiting when the morning will come and I will chant my 16 rounds. I am eager, I am looking forward to chanting every day. And earlier chanting increased number of rounds also was not giving any pleasure. They were puzzled what to do. So we need not puzzle. We are anyway, all of us, very foolish in Kali Yuga. Any advanced reasoning is not expected from us. What is expected is, we are like animal, work hard like animal. Use all your energy for Krishna. Then we could be very dumb, we may not know any philosophy. We will relish Krishna consciousness. We will understand what is the bliss in Krishna consciousness. Without knowing any philosophy, without knowing XYZ, without reading all the books, simply if we work hard for Krishna, of course we have to read, we have to follow morning evening program very rigidly. But then, apart from this morning evening program, work very hard. That is a philosophy. Karma karana muchyate. Krishna wants to see how painstaking the devotee is. And then there will be so much pleasure. With little attention also, we will be able to relish the holy name, relish the book and other things. So this is the secret. This is called Buddhi Yoga. Tesham Satata Yukta Nam. Those who are always engaged in service of Krishna, Krishna inspires from within the heart. So this is the secret, working very hard for Krishna. Then from the very beginning, the devotional service is blissful. By this one should consult spiritual master. Then Dadami Buddhi Yogam, Krishna and spiritual master, they guide from the heart what has to be done first and next. In this way, there is no confusion, no clarity, and one will understand the activities of Krishna perfectly. We'll end here. Any questions?
Looks like Maharaj Muni is not talking about himself, he's talking about the process there in the translation. So, but when we discuss, he's telling I am, because the Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami's case, he himself is telling that I am. But in that verse, Narad Muni is talking about the process, not about himself.
Yes.
So how to understand this?
Yes, so it appears, but it is not like that, because Prabhupada has explained. Narad Muni is talking about the process which he is following. He is talking about in humility.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, the way in which the Bhakti Yoga you described and mentioned as per Prabhupada, it looks very tough. Sometimes
Bhakti yoga appears very tough.
very tough because you have to take a lot of pain for your spiritual master.
Yes.
And then the process of Krishna consciousness looks like very, very extraneous kind
Yes.
of. Yeah.
Yes.
So if you tell these things to somebody who's new to Krishna consciousness, they will get afraid and run away. How to deal with this? How to tell? How to even preach in a very positive way? Because typically people are lazy, like Kalasudra Sambhava. Most of the people are lazy.
No, people are not lazy. People are lazy for spiritual life.
Yeah.
They are very much active. They are getting mad by working hard. So we should tell you, continue, but offer the result to Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So yes, we have to rightly orient people. It is sukham kartum avyayam. It is very pleasant to perform. It does not mean that we become lazy. It means when you work hard for Krishna, then you will relish so much work. You want to work even more for Krishna. In this way, we should explain to others. Working hard in the material world makes us mad. But working hard for Krishna makes us blissful. That a devotee just wants to work more and more, even harder and hardest for Krishna. Then Prabhupada tells you are working on spiritual platform. When you just want to increase your devotional service, you don't want leave. Here they have worked so hard, then weekends they just want to forget their work. I don't check my emails on weekends. But here you want to continue on weekdays or weekends. Beginning of the year or end of the year. Always you want to continue. That is spiritual platform. And that is what we can see. During marathon, the devotees work so hard. And when the marathon is over, they tell Prabhu, I want to continue. This is so nice. If we have done nicely. Yes. Yes. Any other question?
Just to explain that, in the beginning, we have to work hard more. And after that, one should go in meditation and chanting and all. So, can it be related to that age also, Prabhu? Just in young age, Rajoguna is very prominent. So, in that sense, we should work for that because we are more in Rajoguna. Because it is a child in Tamoguna, young is in Rajoguna, and in old age we are in Satoguna, something like that. So, could it be related to that also?
No. It relates to spiritual platform. That is why it is told, while the body is young, take advantage and work very hard for Krishna. Because Krishna consciousness is not meant for lazy fellow. It is meant for the person who is strong. Strong in body, strong in brain, strong in mind, strong in determination, strong in everything. So thus, hard work is required for everybody, young or old. Yes, hard work also differs. A young man definitely can put more hard work, but old man, as far as his energy allows, bhakti is apratihata. Suppose in old age, somebody has become, the limbs are not working properly. They cannot work hard. But to whatever extent they can do, use your, just like if a beggar who has got 2 rupees and he offers 1 rupee to Krishna, that 1 rupee is much better than a billionaire offering $1 million to Krishna. He has offered half of his wealth to Krishna. So similarly, whatever energy we have in our possession, we should try to offer to Krishna. So everyone's hard work will be different. Hard work means giving the maximum possible energy in the service of Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So Narad Muni told here that if enmity is higher to make ourselves Krishna conscious all the time.
Yes.
But enmity only comes when we see there is some threat, and threat is on bodily platform, right? Because pure devotee knows that soul cannot be harmed. Like yesterday we had a lecture. It is about Rishabdev. His body got burned in forest fire.
Yes.
Though he was able to save his body, but he didn't even care about that. So enmity can only be possible when we are bodily conscious.
Yes.
So I think that's how we should not try to become enemy of Krishna. Because if we are trying to become enemy of Krishna, we are just bodily conscious. Is it a right understanding?
No. Enemy of Krishna forgets his body. He is so much absorbed in Krishna. So that is also Krishna consciousness. He is so much absorbed, he also becomes forgetful. But that is not recommended because that is not favorable. We want to give, we are not so enemy of Krishna. He is not rendering service for Krishna's pleasure. He is doing, even if somebody wants to become enemy, he is always having his own personal consideration in mind. So thus, if I become enemy of Krishna for my liberation, that is also not advanced stage of devotional service, even though some enemies also have got elevated to personal liberation, like Kansa and Putana and others. So that is why we should keep Krishna's consideration in mind. That is called devotional service bhakti. Online? Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
The devotees hearing from folk residency can carry on. I will take questions for some more time.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. So you mentioned that many times Prabhupada told his disciples that if you are having a good background, on a good position, then you can continue doing on that. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also, you gave example of Pratap Rudra. You know? So why then we know about Goswamis, they were working very nicely on very good positions. So then why did they took sannyas? No?
Good question. That is why the spiritual master orders. So spiritual master will tell you continue in that position. And sometimes he will tell, no, you give up that position. So George Harrison, Prabhupada told you continue, even though he wanted to become full-time devotee. Similarly, Amrish Prabhu, Alfred Ford, Prabhupada told you continue. So like this, some devotees Prabhupada told you continue, other devotees Prabhupada told. So that spiritual master decides. Similarly, Ramanand Rai, in between. He told you continue for some time and then you come to me. Similarly, Raghunath Das Goswami, he told you continue for some time as an expert estate manager and then you come back, then you renounce. So thus some people were told to renounce immediately. Some people were told to renounce never. Like Kurma Brahmana. Mahaprabhu told never talk about it again. Never talk about renouncing. Why? Prabhupada explains because people in this age are not trained to take up to renounce the order of life. Thus for general people, sannyas is prohibited. Out of sentiment, he wanted to go with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu told never take sannyas. Never talk about it again. Wherever you are, you chant and hear and preach. And by this, waves of Maya will never touch you, even in your householder life. So thus Mahaprabhu gave different instruction. The instruction for general people was same instruction which was given to Kurma Brahmana. You stay at your place and chant. But for those who are advanced, Mahaprabhu told renounce and come. So same thing we follow. Here also majority are congregation. They are supposed to follow from their own place. But those who are advanced, we tell become full-time missionaries, brahmacharis, sannyasis, like that.
But again, sometimes it is mentioned that if you are advanced, only then you are eligible to follow in Grihastha life. If you are not advanced, then brahmachari is favorable.
Yes, so that is why different instructions are given. The spiritual master explains to us what is good for you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. As you said that Krishna becomes pleased if somebody is following his instructions, but if out of love somebody disobeys instruction,
yes.
then he becomes more pleased.
Yes.
So same thing is applied to authority also. Like if you're following the authority, then he's pleased. But if we sometimes, I don't know whether we can say it out of love, then if we disobey sometimes, then he'll also become pleased.
Yes, provided you know the mind of the authority. Just like sometimes, when we go for a feast, we tell, no, but somebody pushes one more puri in your plate, you become pleased. I was hesitant, but thank you very much. So your instruction has been disobeyed, but you are pleased.
So sometimes like we may think that even though authorities...
so we should know the mind of authority, that's it.
Yeah, so for that, okay... I mean, we should know the mind of authority, but
just like
in case,
Prabhupada.
Yes.
Prabhupada is telling, Jayanand Prabhu has given his $5,000 paycheck towards the movement. Although he is recuperating from cancer, he needs money for his treatment. But he gave all the money. He told, I don't want treatment. So let this money be utilized in Krishna's service. Prabhupada told, I can send it back. But he told no. So thus one should know the mind of authority. Authority may tell something. But if we understand the mind, so obviously, if we understand the mind, that is good. Such disobeying is very good. Online.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, when one who is in Krishna consciousness, he faces many hurdles working in Kali Yuga. Working in Kali Yuga can be a massive Maya trap that can even weaken a Krishna devotee, as Maya is too strong.
So please understand, this is a misconception that we have. Working is not Maya's trap. Keeping the money in our pocket is Maya's trap. So please understand, it is the results of the work that we don't offer to Krishna. That is Maya. Working is not Maya. The company has been made by Krishna. The government establishment has been made by Krishna. Our mind body has been given by Krishna. So everything is coming from Krishna. Thinking that I am enjoyer, that is Maya. That Krishna is not the origin. The creation is not come from Krishna. Krishna is not in control. It is not for Krishna's enjoyment. This is called Maya. So please, we have to come out of this illusion that working outside will spoil us, will contaminate us. Our devotees, entire day they spend with materialists. What is our business? Morning to evening, talk to materialists, but we talk about Krishna consciousness. We try to convince them about our philosophy. And some devotees, they work outside with the materialists. Just like we have to do some PR, public relations, we have to maintain good relations for permission, for sanctions. They meet the people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, but the devotees are blissful, they are advancing, meeting all the materialists entire day. Why? Because that meeting they are doing simply for serving Krishna. So please understand, when we meet the devotees, just so that I can serve Krishna for Krishna's service, I will make them devotees, I will never be impacted by them. So working never will contaminate us, never. This is the instruction, this is called Buddhi Yoga. Arjuna was told to remain in the diplomacy, to remain an aristocrat, live with wives, with children, with family, live amidst all the opulences, sit on a golden throne, wear a golden helmet, ride on a golden chariot, but do it for me. So thus it is for Krishna consciousness that we have to work. So please, we have to take this concept out of mind. Anything is Maya. We have to work for Krishna. If we are very advanced, we can work directly for the movement. And if it is allowed, if we are not having any great position in the world outside, but otherwise, ordinarily, we should try to, especially in the initial stages, work very hard outside wherever we are and offer the results to Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how should one know one's own prescribed duties?
By spiritual master, consulting spiritual master who has set up the institution. The devotees tell us, and that is our prescribed duty. It is very simple. We'll finish. Granthra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki jai, Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki.